Have you ever felt like a piece of art just found you? It's a weird feeling, right? It doesn't feel like you picked it. It feels like it was delivered to your doorstep at the exact moment you needed it, with a message written just for you. I mean, you really know the feeling. You're just going about your day, maybe driving or walking, and bam, this song comes on. And suddenly, everything else just fades away. It's like the music and the words have reached right into your chest and pulled out a feeling you didn't even know how to describe. And look, it's not just songs, right? It's that movie you stumbled upon the week after a tough breakup that just got it. Or that book you picked up that felt like someone was narrating your own life. This connection, it feels like pure magic. But what if it isn't? What if there's actually a science to why some art gets tangled up so deeply in the story of who we are? Okay, let's dig in. All right, so to start cracking this mystery, we got to figure out where that intense connection even begins. And our first big clue, it's hidden inside the very building blocks of a song. Okay, think about that one song, the one that always gets you. What is it really? Is it the story, the lyrics? Or is it that tune, the music itself, that just gives you goosebumps every single time? Well, it turns out that's the exact question researchers are asking. In the fight for our feelings, what wins? Melody or lyrics? So, check this out. A really cool 2024 study decided to put this to the test. Researchers took a bunch of happy and sad songs and basically broke them down. One group of people just heard the lyrics read out loud, kind of like a poem. Another group heard only the instrumental melody, no words at all. And a third group got the whole package, the original song. Then they measured the emotional punch of each version. And whoa, the results are, well, they're super clear. Just look at this chart. The lyrics by themselves, they barely move the needle emotionally. But the melody alone, look how high that bar is. It's almost identical to the original song. That tells us something huge about how music hooks us. So here's our first piece of the puzzle, the melody. That's the engine. It's the raw, pure emotional force of a song. What the study showed was that adding words to the music didn't really crank up the emotional intensity much more. It's the music itself that kicks down the door to our feelings. So, clue number one, melody equals emotion. Okay, so a song can deliver a massive emotional punch. We've got that. But a feeling is just a feeling, right? It comes and it goes. For a song to become a part of you, that feeling needs to latch onto something more permanent. And that brings us to our second clue, the stories we tell ourselves. Yeah, how does a 3-minute emotional rush from a song become a landmark in your life story? The answer, surprisingly, has less to do with the art and everything to do with us. It's about how our brains are literally wired to be storytellers. Psychologists have a term for this. It's called narrative coherence. Sounds a bit academic, I know, but all it really means is our brain's amazing ability to take all the messy, random stuff that happens to us and weave it into a story that actually makes sense. A story with a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's how we find meaning in the chaos. And listen, this isn't just some neat trick our brains do. It is absolutely essential to being a healthy person. The legendary psychoanalyst Erik Erikson said that figuring out how to tell your own story, who you are and how you got here, is pretty much the most critical job we have when we're growing up. It's literally how we build our identity. So what goes into making one of these coherent stories? Well, according to researchers, it boils down to 3 key ingredients. First, you need context. You gotta set the scene, right? Where and when did this happen? Second, chronology. Lay out the events in a logical order. And finally, and this is the big one, theme. What was the point? What did you learn? This is how a random memory turns into a meaningful lesson. Okay, let's pause for a sec. We have 2 huge puzzle pieces on the table. Piece number 1, melody hits us with raw, powerful emotion. Piece number 2, our brains are desperate to build coherent stories about our lives. So what happens when we slam those 2 pieces together? Well, this is where it all clicks. So in the story of our lives, some chapters are way more important than others. Researchers call these big, life-defining moments nuclear episodes. Think of them as the turning points, the first big love, a major loss, that huge achievement, the events that fundamentally changed you. And here it is. This is the connection. That intense, raw emotion sparked by a melody, our first clue, becomes the literal soundtrack for these life-defining nuclear episodes. The music isn't just playing in the background of the memory. It's scoring it, turning up the emotional volume and searing it into our minds forever. Here's a really powerful example from one of the studies. A participant described the last time they saw their grandfather who was dying. They were just a kid and they were scared, so they didn't go to his bedside when he called. That single moment became a nuclear episode for them, a story of regret that shaped how they saw themselves for years. Now, just imagine a sad, quiet melody playing over that memory. You can feel how it would cement that feeling, can't you? And that is the final step. When we tell the story of that powerful moment, when we give it context, a timeline, and a theme, we integrate that event and its emotional soundtrack into the very fabric of who we are. The art isn't just a song anymore. It's the graduation anthem. It's the breakup song. It becomes a part of our personal history. It didn't just find you. It helped you find yourself. So when we get that feeling that art has chosen us, what's really going on is this perfect storm of emotion and storytelling. It's a powerful feeling from a piece of art meeting a significant moment in our lives just as a story is being born. So let's wrap this up. What are the big takeaways? 1. Melody is the emotional heavyweight in music. It brings the feelings. 2. We build who we are out of the stories we tell about our biggest life moments, those nuclear episodes. And 3. The emotion from art acts like superglue. It fuses the soundtrack to the memory, making it a permanent part of our own personal story. It's a pretty beautiful partnership when you think about it. The art gives us the feeling, and we give that feeling a story, a home. So I'll leave you with just one question to think about. What song, what movie, what book chose you, and what chapter of your life did it help you write?